صباح الحب والقمر يشادي، صباح نفحه فل وكادي، صباح الجد والعزمات فينا.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، ثم أما بعد. My dear brothers, sisters, and my beloved children, and my respected elders, first of all, I begin with counseling myself and every one of you with the God consciousness, taqwa of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Allah the Almighty said in the noble Quran in Surah At-Talaq, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ, and whoever fears Allah and keeps his duty to Him, Allah the Almighty will expiate his sins, يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ, will remove and wipes out his sins from him, and will enlarge his rewards. وَيُعْظِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا. Respected worshippers, today we are on the 27th day of Rajab, and I'm sure many of you know that this Rajab is considered as one of the sacred months in the noble Quran. It is a significant month, considered as sacred month. The historical and miraculous event of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj took place in this month according to many Muslim historians, although there are differences of opinions. Obviously, some historians, they say it took place in the month of Rabi' al-Awwal, others say in Rabi' al-Akhar. Like there is also, but there is a big number of scholars, those who believe that it happened in the month of Rajab. Now, regardless or despite the difference of opinions on timing of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, this historical, miraculous event, we should look into the essence, the teachings, what gives us this story. First of all, we see Allah the Almighty, He speaks about this in the noble Quran in Surah Al-Isra. So He says, Subhanalladhi asra. Glory be to Allah, the one who took his slave. See, slavery is an honor in Islam. Yani slavery for Allah the Almighty. بِعَبْدِهِ لَيْلًا, in the night, من المسجد, from the holy land of Mecca, Masjid al-Haram, to Masjid al-Aqsa, located in Jerusalem. May Allah the Almighty free Jerusalem. And in that night, His beloved Prophet, with a special vehicle known as Al-Buraq, and the Holy Prophet Muhammad's peace and blessings be upon him, was taken in that night from Mecca to Bayt al-Maqdis, where he was received by many great prophets such as Jesus, Moses, Isa, Musa, and many other great prophets. Our Prophet ﷺ was privileged to lead Salah, and all other prophets prayed behind him. And then he was taken to this beautiful, miraculous journey, hospitality from the Lord of the universe. He was ascended to the seventh sky. He met Allah the Almighty. He met many of the prophets and messengers. And we all know that this miraculous journey, during that journey, Salah was obligatory. 5 daily prayers were given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was also offered milk and alcohol wine, but he preferred the milk. And the angel Jibreel said, you have been guided to the nature, to fitrah. And then the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he returned to Bayt al-Maqdis. He was descended again, and then he was returned to the holy land of Mecca overnight. And this incident happened, of course, while he was awake. It's not just the way some people assume, or some historians, some people try to say that it happened in his dream. No, it happened live and while he was awake. And this is the understanding of the vast majority scholars of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And so that's a great journey. The Salah was obligatory during that journey. And you can imagine, Prophet ﷺ is given that privilege and honor to visit the sky, heavens, and visit his Lord, Allah the Almighty. And that is to also reassure and confirm his prophethood and his Risala, his revelation. And all of those things happened miraculously, and he came back overnight. So that's the story of Al-Mi'raj. We can take many lessons. There's not any specific ibadah on that day, as some people may assume. There's not a specific type of worship, but all we need to understand that we learn lessons from that historical event. Brothers and sisters and my children, today also we've been discussing a very important topic, and that is the rights of our neighbors. Now, as Muslims, many people have rights over us. It's not just that, we live here anyhow and the way we like and the way we wish we live in this world without any roles and responsibilities and rights. No, every one of us are responsible in this world. So there are rights of neighbors over us as residents, as Muslims, as citizens living in this country. And don't forget that good character and good mannerism and our beautiful conducts with our neighbors is part of an important teaching of the Noble Quran. Look at this beautiful verse where Allah the Almighty says, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهِ, worship Allah alone, وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا, do not associate any partnership with Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, be kind and good to your parents. وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى, and to your relatives. Don't forget your relatives, especially the kinship, relatives of kinship. وَالْيَتَامَى, and the orphans, do not forget them. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, the poor ones in society, less privileged. وَالْجَارِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى, near neighbors, the neighbors who are near to you. وَالْجَارِ الْجُنُبِ, and the neighbors who are strangers, a bit far. And according to scholars, about 40 houses around you are considered as neighbors. 40 houses from left, right, front, behind are considered as neighbors. وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ, and also the wayfarer, the strangers, be good to them. وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, and the slaves that you have possessed, be good to them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ مَنْ كَانَ مُخْتَالًا فَخُورًا, Allah does not like those who are proud and boastful, arrogance. Allah do not like them, because that's His sifa, that's His attribute. So whoever has proud or arrogance, Allah the Almighty, He doesn't love it and He hates this. Now, prophetic instruction also have been given towards being good and kind and nice and to make sure the safety and security of our neighbors. Look at this beautiful teaching of Prophet ﷺ when he said, whoever believes in Allah and in the hereafter, then he must speak whether good or he must remain silent. He whether speaks good or remains silent. Yasmut. وَمَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ, and whoever believes in Allah and in the next world, in the akhirah, فَلْيُكْرِمْ جَارَهُ, let him be kind and generous and merciful towards his neighbors. وَمَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ, and whoever believes in Allah and in the hereafter, then let him also be kind and generous towards his guests. So obviously hospitality is also an important part of this religion, which many of us will forget. Our religion is a special, a unique religion. It's different to other religions in many different ways. One of the ways that our religion is a very social religion. It doesn't ask you to just be in salah in the masjid for a whole day and don't do anything. You have no relationship with others, your fellow community members and people in society. It doesn't say that. You have to live in this world as normal as possible, and you remain connected with Allah while you're being dutiful towards your fellow human being in this world. It's a very social religion. And this can be evident in a hadith narrated by Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah, where the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said there was a woman that she used to pray during the night and fast during the day. You can imagine during the night praying, important prayer, and fasting during the day. And then she does all the good, she gives charity, but she's bad in her language with her neighbors. She harms them, she hurts their feelings of neighbors. She screams. So Prophet ﷺ said, La khayra, there's no good in her, and she will be from amongst the people of fire. Wal-'iyadhu billah. You can imagine. And then Prophet ﷺ was told that there's another woman, she prays 5 daily prayers, and she gives charity. She doesn't do that much of the worship as the other lady was doing, but she doesn't harm and hurt her neighbors. Prophet ﷺ said, she is from the people of Jannah. So you can imagine being good and kind, and having the best character with the people who are in our neighborhood is part of this religion. My brothers and sisters, harming neighbors are absolutely sinful. The Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever believes in Allah and in the hereafter, then he must not harm in any way, whether verbally or actions or in any possible way, or even trying to reveal the secret of the neighbors and trying to go and be nosy and find out what's going on in the other house. All of those things must avoid if somebody believes in Allah and in the hereafter. And then Prophet ﷺ also said, he said Allah 3 times in the hadith, mentioned in the book of Imam al-Bukhari, where he said, I swear by Allah, Wallahi la yu'min, I swear by Allah, this man or woman doesn't believe in Allah. And he said, Wallahi, 3 times. And then he said, the Sahaba companions said, who is that person? Then Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Alladhi la ya'manu jarahu bawa'iqahu, is the one who does not make sure the safety of his neighbors or her neighbors, does not make sure the safety of his or her neighbors. And of course, we can do many things to be good to our neighbors. We can do in many different ways. And that's also very highly emphasized in the holy books of the Christianity and other religions too, being good and nice and kind to the neighbors. But we can do many things in order to fulfill the rights of our neighbors. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, instructed in a hadith. He says to Imam Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anhu, hadith in the book of Imam al-Muslim, he said, Ya Abu Dharr, if you cook anything, the curry, or if you cook any kind of food, فَأَكْثِرْ مَاءَهَا, especially curry, if you cook, then increase the water a little bit more. وَتَعَاهَدْ جِيرَانَ, and distribute amongst your neighbors. Try and give them something. So when we give to our neighbors, it's not just merely we've been good to them, but we're also getting rewards. It's a source of rewards. Our neighbors are a source of much rewards that we can attain and we can achieve. And another hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, he's talking to the women, saying, Ya Nisa al-Muslim, all believing women, all Muslim women, do not belittle giving anything. Do not belittle giving anything to your neighbors. Even it could be like some insignificant parts of the sheep, like tortoise of the sheep, something that is very insignificant. Don't feel bad or embarrassed to give to neighbors. Give whatever you can. Don't say, I'm not rich, I don't have much, or don't think like that, but give according to your best capacity. Of course, we can do these things in order to be good to our neighbors. We can also make sure the safety and security of our neighbors. But the most important thing we can do as neighbors in this country, that we can introduce our religion to our neighbors. And that's the best thing you can do. And that's the best gift that you can ever offer to your neighbors and to your fellow citizens here. We just don't possess a clear and very plain and absolutely clear creed, aqidah, but we also have beautiful character that has been taught by the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those qiyam and this best of mannerism and character. And we can introduce Islam through this, through our actions, through our beautiful language, and through many ways we can introduce Islam to them. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ. And we live as a minority in this country. We all know our responsibilities. And I remember one of the scholars was saying that da'wah is the least prioritized thing to Muslims at this time. Meaning it's an unforgotten, it's a forgotten responsibility. Da'wah has become a forgotten responsibility to the Muslims that we forget. We just think that we are fine with our own prayers and worshipping, and we seek knowledge and we do all those things, but we don't want to share with others. And you can see why every prophet came to this world. Every messenger and prophet, why did they come? Did they come just to learn and worship by themselves, or they came to spread what they knew to other people? And the best thing we can do, none of us can say, I'm not a scholar, I'm not an imam, I'm not a sheikh, so I'm not responsible for that. Not every one of us can do this in our own ways. So, and one of the best ways we can do, we can introduce our neighbors to Islam. And another important thing, that also we be tolerant towards the harms and the hurtful actions that can be caused by some of our neighbors. Sometimes we are tested in many different ways. One of the ways we can be tested in this world is through some difficult neighbors. So if they're difficult, then let's also try and be tolerant and patient. And the rewards of patience are uncountable, and there is no any limit to the rewards of patience. وَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the ability to practice upon what has been said. And I hope we have learned something, and it's not about just learning. We can go and straight away put in practice, inshallah, from today, if not too late. وبارك الله فيكم. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث أصلح لنا شؤوننا كلها ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. اللهم آمنا في أوطاننا اللهم أمن أوطان المسلمين وجميع الأوطان يا إله الكون يا رب العالمين. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. وحد صفوفنا واجمع كلمتنا، ألف بين قلوبنا وأصلح ذات بيننا. صلى الله وسلم على حبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وأقم الصلاة.